Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to do two things. We're going to finish up installing the WeBoost in the Ford Transit behind me, and we're also officially launching the camper van conversion blueprint, which is our DIY camper van conversion course. So pretty excited about that, and I'm going to dive into that right now. So let's hop over here on the website. So you guys have been asking a lot of questions online, both on the YouTube and the live stream and in the comments. So we got a bunch of really good questions to answer. And not only that, I wanted to start organizing all this into a course that you guys can check out. It's going to be launching later this year, October 1st, 2024. And again, it's the DIY camper van conversion course, and I'm calling it the Camper Van Conversion Blueprint. Really, it's just everything that you guys need to know, start to finish, on how to build your DIY camper van of your dreams. Everything from finding the vehicle to maintenance and taking care of the van. So this is the page that's linked in the description below if you guys want to go to it. And what we're doing is we're doing a pre-order right now. So if you guys pre-order the course before it launches October 1st, you're going to take a discount as a thank you for supporting the course. And here's a couple things that we're actually going to be including in the course when you get it and when it comes out. So on this page, we've got some info down here. We've got me, and then we've got a couple of bullet points on what's included in the course. And what I want to do right now is I'm actually going to hop over to the form, my notes. So you guys are actually going to see my real notes, kind of building this course out. And my plan is I'm going to go through this probably each live stream. And if you guys have something that is missing in here that you see, something you want answered within the course, that's what I want to do. I want to see those questions, as well as any comments you guys have and feedback as this is getting finalized and put together. I think it's going to be really exciting, a great piece, something to put in your toolbox doing your DIY van conversion, and also the DIY van build cheat sheet, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So we're going to go through this. Now this is just our outline. Probably going to make changes along the way as far as the details that go into it, kind of what stays and what goes. But right now we're just going to go through step by step each one of these modules, just do a quick overview, and then we're actually going to get into the van here, and we're going to finish up the WeBoost install. So I've got all the stuff taken care of on the roof, all that good things. So we're going to get back to that. So that'll be the fun part of the live stream today. But right now, let's go through this. All right, the DIY camper van conversion course. So here's the outline. So the first thing we're going to do is do a big overview of the course, tell you about all the modules that's in it. That'll be kind of the first section of it, and talking about the benefits of a DIY camper van conversion. So for example, why would you want to convert a van into a camper van? The obvious question is, hey, I want to go out, I want to adventure, I want to go see national parks, see the US. But there's other things where some families that I have built vans for, where they want to go see a newborn or their family, and have some type of accommodations that they're not having to stay in a hotel, but they can stay outside of the home, but they're still with friends and family. So different benefits on what you can get when you do your van conversion. And then overall, I would say cost. So by doing it DIY, you're saving the labor cost. You might be able to get some components that are not with big RV manufacturers. And with that, sometimes DIY can be better than a RV manufacturer as far as quality goes. Just my opinion. But that's kind of that'll be like the first part. Then we'll move into actually choosing your van. There's all kinds of different vans that you guys can choose from. Different size vans, low, medium, high roof, the length of the van, even brand. So choosing a van, if you're a Mercedes fan, a Ford fan, or even a Dodge fan, each one's going to have their own particular van that they might want to go with. We'll talk about the capabilities. Are you going to be doing something where you don't need two-wheel drive, you're going to be doing a lot of highway driving, or you want to have some all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive capabilities, take it off-road, places like that. And then, do you want to start with a used van? Do you already have a van that you want to convert? Or are you doing this clean slate, starting with a brand new van? We'll talk about some advantages of the new vans, advantages of used vans, and really, think about it. They're cargo vans. They can be beat up pretty good, but they're going to withstand that, because turning it into a DIY camper van is not as extreme as, a delivery van. So I would say used vans are actually a pretty good place to start depending on your budget. But if you're going to be able to do financing, or you have saved up and you're ready to pull the trigger on buying a brand new van, then new van is also great as well. Don't forget, new vans come with warranties. And when you buy a new van, you can purchase an extended warranty that covers, gives you a ton of coverage. So Brian and Robin, actually, we put a extended warranty on this van. So even though this van has, it's a new van, it only has now probably 1,000 miles on it, you can actually, within a 3-year window, opt in and get a full extended warranty that takes you well above 75,000 miles. It pretty much is kind of a pay-to-play type of situation where as much as you want to spend, as long as you can stretch out that warranty. Just remember to purchase it within that 3-year manufacturer window. So for example, that's going to be in the course, and I can walk you guys through that whole entire thing, the whole entire process. And then this right here, this will be a sneak peek inside the course. I haven't launched this video and I've not posted it on YouTube, but before John and Susan bought their van, they had me inspect a used van that they were going to consider purchasing. And I actually did a full start to finish video, driving up, checking out the van, taking photos, inspecting the van, rust, wear, the person who actually built it before they were going to buy it, what kind of craftsmanship did they have. It was a good second opinion before you're spending quite a bit of money on something that you're not really sure is going to be a good investment for you. So that video is going to be in this course, and yep, you can only find it within the DIY camper van course. Next, we'll talk about planning and designing your camper van and your build layout. We'll start with a use case for the vans, so identify your hauling needs. So vans come in different varieties. There's heavy duty or kind of light duty. For example, my personal adventure van is a 150 chassis. So essentially, it has to do with the load that the van can carry. Think about springs. So the springs and suspension of the van are what's going to be carrying that weight, and depending on how beefed up you have that, will kind of be a 1-to-1 on the max weight that you can carry. So think about what you're going to be doing. If you're going to be behind, doing mountain bikes, not that big of a deal. Some people put motorcycles in the back of their vans, and then you have friends, family, kids, pets. And all that is going to add to the weight of your van. And so even though you do your full build out, think about who is going to be in your van and what you're going to take and store in your van as you go on trips. Kind of mention that seating and sleeping arrangements. This is going to affect the layout of your van. So for example, the last couple builds that we've done, most have been a east-west configuration as far as the bed goes. John and Susan's opted in for the north-south. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's a good reason to get this course, because we're going to go over what north-south bed means, east-west. It's essentially what direction you're sleeping in the van. Now, depending on what direction you sleep in the van, it's going to be less area for you to have your kitchen and kind of dining area. Or if you flip it around, you might be able to increase that area. If you're going to be bringing additional passengers, you're going to want to maximize that space, so bed configuration is definitely important. Moving on down to bathroom options. If you have an enclosed bathroom, that's going to take up a ton of space versus if you just had a portable toilet located underneath the sink for emergencies. Kind of two ways to go, but all these considerations need to be done in the planning process before you actually start building your van, because it will get expensive if you have to backtrack and change your mind. And then shower options. You can save space by doing an outdoor shower. But then again, if you want that indoor shower or hidden shower, consider the space that it's going to take up. Sizing appliances and components. We'll go over choosing the right sink. There's tons of different sinks to choose from. Selecting the appropriate appliances. So do you guys want to do a 12-volt fridge? Do you want to do a kind of a chest fridge, like the CFX series from Dometic, or you want to do a higher end isotherm Cruise 130, which is in Robin and Brian's van. Or maybe you want to do microwave. So kind of selecting appliances, and this is, so that'll be all covered there. Then we move into off-grid power systems. There's hands-on turnkey systems. So hands-on means you are putting kind of all the Lego pieces together yourself. These are individual components. And then when I talk about turnkey systems, this would be like the EcoFlow that John and Susan have. Kind of a black box, but the benefit is installs quicker. Interface might be nice and simple. And if you're a DIYer, it might be a much more enjoyable install if you're not too tech savvy. We'll talk about repairability and upgradeability. This has to do with working on your van. Good example, if we hop on over inside the van, the Adventure Wagon kit. Notice how I can take the panels off, I can access the wiring, I can put everything back together and take it apart, I can take the cabinets down. If you've built a van and you've glued and screwed everything together and you can't take stuff off, consider issues when maybe you have to change out the air conditioner in the future or the fan or anything like that. You're going to want to make sure that your van has some bit of repairability, upgradeability, or access. Access is really what I'm trying to say. And then we'll also talk about future-proofing your power system, what kind of components, maybe outlets, connections you can put so that in the future, if you want to add something, you have that and you're not having to tear through the floor or the ceiling to do that. We'll talk about choosing a power system and based on your needs. So kind of help you put a list together or show you how to put a list together, calculate the wattages and the current coming out of specific devices so that you can kind of get a ballpark idea of what your your power usage is going to be. We'll talk about different types of power systems. So what stores your power, your battery, but then also what charges your battery. So solar, generator, shore power, DC to DC charging on the highway, all that good stuff. Maybe a second alternator. We're doing a second alternator in this van, so we'll talk about that as well. All this boils into budget considerations. So, if you really want a lot of power, you might want to pull back on, higher end components as far as bed systems, kitchen galley, stuff like that. Or if you have the budget, think about maybe adding a little extra for some room to grow as your van build expands. For John and Susan's, for example, they have a 5 kilowatt hour EcoFlow battery, but I designed the space so that if they ever wanted to buy another battery in the future to increase their power, they can just stack it right on top of the battery that's already in there. It's designed to do that, and it maybe would take 10 minutes to make that install. So think about that, and then also put that in your budget. In the future, am I going to add another $2,500 to my power system? You know, kind of think about if that's something, or the system that you're installing, if that's where you want to go. We'll move into the next part of the build, which is building your water system. We'll talk about trip duration and water needs. So if you're doing weekender trips, maybe not so much storage, but if you're going out in Arizona for a week or so, maybe having a nice 40-gallon tank to hold some water while you're out on that really long trip. Talk about estimating water usage. You know, this can vary a ton. So you might be taking showers in your van, or you might be not doing any of that. You might just be washing your hands and doing some dishes after a weekend camp trip. Gray water. Do you want to have ease of use, so maybe just like a 6 or 7 gallon jerry can, or do you actually want to have something to where maybe you're going into colder environments and you want to have some additional storage so that you're not having to, you know, exit the van every time that your water tank fills up. Also, legal considerations for disposal. You may want to have a gray water system under your van just for the sole fact that you're camping somewhere where you cannot drain directly to the ground. Not that I recommend that, but I do know people do that. But if you definitely are in a place you cannot do that, having a dedicated gray tank under your van would be a smart thing to have. We'll talk about water system components, water pumps, faucets, and sinks. There's a ton of these out there, and I've kind of have my 3 favorite that I'll talk about in the course that I like to use and have had really good success with. We'll talk about compact versus residential style setups. So this is a good example of, are you just doing maybe an outdoor shower, or do you want a full kitchenette with a sink, you know, spray head, that type of thing, room for your induction stove. That actually kind of does play into your residential style setup. Hot water. Let me tell you, hot water is very nice in a van. It's something really cool that happens. I remember the first time I installed a hot water system in a van, and you're in a van washing your hands with hot water. It's really cool. If you haven't done it, I'm telling you, that's something that's pretty cool when you get to that point. And not only that, if you have hot water, showering options, having a hot shower at a campground, out of your own van, really cool. We'll move on to exterior enhancements. Roof rack is a big deal for me. Finding a really good roof rack system, and I put in a couple. A roof rack is kind of like the map of the roof of your van. And within that map, you're going to have your AC, air conditioning, rooftop unit, your max fan, solar panels, maybe some additional rooftop storage. And depending on what roof rack you choose, depending on what height of van you choose, and depending on what systems, how big they are, this is all going to play into the roof rack setup on your van. So it's really important. I had talked to somebody about this on a phone call, and their question was thinking about doing a roof rack and solar later. And I really was pushing them. I said, hey, you know, if there's something else we could take off the list so that you could get the roof rack now, because if you think about it, the roof rack is going to designate where those holes in the roof of your van are going to be cut out. And it's very, very important, because it's really hard to retroactively add an air conditioner or add a vent fan. It's not impossible, but it's challenging, because if you do it later, because you were trying to, you know, save some cost, what you're going to find out is you might not be able to maximize the solar that you could have if you had a better layout, or you're going to have to sacrifice solar for AC, for vent fan. It's all connected on the roof. So in this course, I'll teach you the most efficient way, in my opinion, how to do that and what the benefits are, and why I think budgeting for that might be really important. Because we talked about up here, we talked about future-proofing your van. So that has to do with that. Also, exterior storage solutions. So behind me, if you guys can see, we put in on Robin and Brian's van. Let's see if this will focus. So this is the Flatline Vanco gear rack with the Flatline Vanco rear storage box. This thing is awesome. So I haven't really done a review on this. Hopefully you guys can see this on the video. But this box will get some up close information on this. But you can see this is a great way to have that outside storage where it's wet gear, other type of camping gear, stuff you don't want to put inside your van, but you do need on your trip. So yeah, exterior storage solutions. And then also optional upgrades, exterior lighting. So in this van, for example, we have the Rigid Industries amber scene light, and that light is nice because, think about it. There's no lights outside your van when you buy a cargo van. Consider adding some optional upgrades. And then last part on the exterior enhancements, when you increase the tire size, typically your spare tire is not going to fit, your new spare tire will not fit underneath your van because you've upgraded the tire size. It has become larger so you could help get better ground clearance. Now you're going to have to upgrade to a rear tire carrier, so consider that as something to have as an upgrade in the future. Okay, coming down here at the end of this, we're going to talk about finalizing your build. One thing I'm really big on is safety. Safety checks in your van. I'm talking about weight of your van, making sure that your roof rack and everything you put on the roof of your van is not overweight so that you are outside the manufacturer's specifications. You would be surprised at the RVs that are out there that are extremely overweight, and you can't know about it until you get the van, maybe take it to a CAT scales at a gas station or truck stop and actually see the number for yourself. All the vans that I build, I take them out, I weigh them. I know the front axle, I know the rear axle weight, I know my conversion weight, I know the rooftop weight. And I'll always advise if we are getting close to that with my customers. And if you're a DIYer and making your own van, safety is really important. If you're going 80 miles an hour on the highway, the dynamics have changed on your van when you have a build out, and it's really good to understand what you've done to change those dynamics or those driving dynamics when you're driving your van, so that in the event that you have to make abrupt maneuvers, you're not getting into a bad situation. So safety checks, going through a whole entire list. We'll go over registration, legal requirements. This is going to be the more detailed section where we talk about insuring your van, people who can insure your van, converting your van from a regular van to an RV, banking, let's see what else. We'll go over, yeah, that kind of stuff. And then local regulations, I had that note there, we'll pass that. And then finally, personalizing your camper van. So you've got your van, you built it out, you've got all the bells and whistles on it, you've got it insured, it's on the road, and you're ready to take it out. Now you're going to be putting all your stuff, your bags, your gears, your mountain bikes, your camper van mattress, you're loading up the water. How do you make your van feel homey? And then at the same time, we'll round it out with actually talking about how how do you do maintenance and upkeep. So other than adding personal touches like pillows and stuff like that and art or I don't know, whatever you want to put in your van, we'll pass it up and talk about maintenance and upkeep. So checking your tires, rotation, tire load ratings, which are really important. You do not want to buy new tires and then the tire shop goofs, gets the wrong load rating for your van, makes it very dangerous. That's going to be in the course as well. Regular maintenance tips, simple stuff as far as, oil changes, tire care, suspension, and then other items for long-term care, checking for leaks, tightening up bolts, along those lines, and just keep your van tip-top shape so when you go to take it out on the road, it's kind of a worry-free experience. Then we'll talk about some real-life examples, some case studies. So the vans that I've actually hand-built in this shop. We'll talk about different components that some clients have used, some troubleshooting, some common issues, and all that good stuff. And then last but not least, this is the last, there it is. Let's see, there we go. We'll do a big summary, and we'll have additional tools and resources, so some recommended books, websites, and forums. Speaking of forums, we will be including a forum in this course. It'll be a private forum where everyone that gets the course has access to it, and they're going to be able to ask questions. We'll put questions that come in from the YouTube channel. We'll put questions that I come across when I'm installing stuff. And then we'll also do live Q&As with myself, like we're doing right now with the live stream. And really this is just building a community of support so that if you have a question while you get into the DIY process, there's a place to go, there's a resource on top of the course itself, which is explaining each one of these parts of the van building process. So that was a mouthful. Hope you enjoyed that. Really excited to check out this course. And again, this is the DIY camper van conversion course called Camper Van Conversion Blueprint. And you guys can pre-order it right now. All you gotta do is click on this link, and I'm actually going to open this in a new tab. And yeah, if you guys would like to purchase this, we're doing a pre-order discount, and you can buy it now. That gives you a spot, and then when October 1st comes around, you'll get the course at a discount for pre-ordering it. And yeah, that discount is just a thank you for getting this course out there. And really looking forward to finalizing, wrapping this up and putting it together for you guys. In the meantime, if you have any questions, the stuff that we went over, stuff that you did not see here, but you want in the course, put that in the comments below. Type that into a live stream. I want to hear the feedback. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the Camper Van Conversion Blueprint, the new DIY camper van course that I am launching on October 1st. So look forward to that. We'll be talking about it in every live stream. Before we get back to the van, I just want to talk real quick about the DIY van build cheat sheet. If you guys have been on the live stream before, you'll know what this is. But for you that don't know, I put together an Excel sheet and I organized it. It's the last 3 years of all of my purchases that have come to the shop. And it's just a quick and easy way to glance at everything that I bought. It's organized, power, hardware, bolts, nuts, screws, solar panels, water pumps, and it's over 250 curated items. They're all organized, and it's always going to be growing. So we're getting ready to do another revamp of this list, and no joke, probably going to be adding about 100, 120 more items to this list. There's so much stuff that I've learned before, after making this one. So it's cool. It's going to be a sheet that's just going to always be growing, and as a thank you, it's free. It's 100% free. And it's to help you save time and money with a curated products list. And the time and money you save is because you're going to be able to reference a sheet of stuff that I've actually bought. And not only that, if you guys have any questions, always catch me on the live stream. You can ask about what products I recommend and be happy to answer that for you. But again, it's not completely free. All you gotta do is put your name and email address. It'll be delivered right to your inbox, and I think it'll really help you out on your DIY camper van build as well. And also, this will be included in the course as well. So if you don't pick it up right now, it'll also be in the course itself. But why not get it right now? It's free. Name, email address, come right to you, and check it out. Okay, let's get back to actually building vans. We're gonna hop over here to the Ford Transit, Adventure van, the Glacier build, Robin and Brian's van, and I'm going to actually go back to my face right here and show you. This is our WeBoost setup. So we have our WeBoost. This is going out to our rooftop antenna. This is the plug that's going to go inside the van to a little remote antenna right here. So what you do is you take this and bring it as close to your cell phone device. But this guy right here is going to stay in the van. Now the reason we did this is, again, we want something that we can work on, take in and out of the van. If you're going to leave the van for a long time and you want to maybe take this and use it somewhere else. I installed this for Brian and Robin so they can do that. So all they got to do is clip these two plastic pieces off. This comes out, this unplugs. You will have to remove that bolt, but I did that so it doesn't flop around in the van. This is the cigarette plug that we put in the other day. We still retain the quick charge USB 3.0 port right there. It's a 65 watt charger. It's got an on and off button. Really cool. It comes with a USB-C and USB-A cable. And then we got the cigarette lighter, which is the power for the WeBoost, and it has its own independent off-on switch. So see, nice and neat. We even didn't put screws to the back. We did our 1/2 inch truss head screws, truss head screws work really well in a van. If you guys are trying to find truss head screws, just look it up. And then these two ports, if you guys wonder what those are, that is the 12 volt power supply that's switchable for the indirect lighting underneath the cabinets. All right, so I'm going to move to the van, and we are going to get this back installed. Hopefully I don't have to take off the WeBoost to kind of put this all back together. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out where to start first. Okay. What you can't see inside the van is, this is how you know this is live. I had I've got a whole presentation right here for you, and I didn't even show it to you. It's because I talked about the course, and I've got, let's see, I gotta go back. Is this it? Let's see, does this work? There we go. Okay. Let's go to the computer. Let's look up WeBoost. And, all right. It's possible I may cut this video and make this a WeBoost install video right after I get done talking. I'll probably do that in post. All right. So now we are talking about the WeBoost cell signal booster. All right, WeBoost. I always wondered why they called it WeBoost. The company is Wilson Electronics. And I got the shipment to my shop and it said Wilson Electronics, and I said, who is that? And so I didn't know it was WeBoost. So I just kind of put it to the side and then I opened it and it was the WeBoost. So if you see something come in the mail and it says Wilson Electronics, it does not say WeBoost, it's your WeBoost. All right, why do you need a cell signal booster? Well, you're probably building an adventure van, you're probably up in the mountains, and your signal is maybe 1 bar. With a WeBoost, you can actually increase it maybe 1 or 2 bars. And yeah, so this is the website. The antenna that we purchased. So Brian did a little bit of research on this, and he brought this to my attention. The ones that they've had, let's see here, RV. These are the ones that you normally see. Now the Drive Reach was not available, that's a new one. But these other ones, they had a fixed mounting position. And what Brian found was the Drive Reach Overland has this articulating arm. And I actually thought this was a dial where you loosen it and then tighten it back in place, but it's better. You pull it out and it indexes in 3 positions: vertical, 45 degrees, and flat for storage. So that's pretty cool. And I actually thought this was a dial. Checking my audio. So this is the kit. This is what you're going to get in the kit. So you'll get the antenna. It's a spring-loaded antenna. You're going to get some cable, cord, all this good stuff, some clips. Now, I've overdone it with the mounting system. I made my own mounting system out of 80/20, but that's just me. There are enough components in here to where you can do your own mounting setup, whether it's on a roof rack rail or you drill some holes and use the additional hardware that they have to mount the antenna. All right, so that's what it is. It's about $550, and that's how much it cost. Let's see what else here. It works with AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, US Cellular, and Dish. 2-year warranty. And so here's a couple of things that I did not use. I was going to directly wire it with the 12-volt power supply. If I had done that, it would not been, it would just make things a little bit more complicated as far as taking it out, putting it back in. This hardware cable, the picture does not show what it looks like in real life. In real life, the module is a big chunky box, and they don't show that in this photo, which is odd. Yeah, it's a big chunky box, takes up a lot of room. So that's why I went with making the cigarette lighter work. You can also have a mast extension. Not sure why you would need a mast extension. The length of the mast right now on top of the van, I'm going to go ahead and measure it. I'm going to tell you how high it is from the pivot arm to the top of the antenna. So from the pivot arm to the top of the antenna is 28 inches. So that's over 2 feet. I'm not sure why you would want to add an additional 18 inches to that. So that's just my opinion. The cable they give you is long as well. So yeah. But yeah, it's called Drive Reach Overland, and we're going to take you through the install. So a couple of things on the van. We're going to get ready to cut a hole right here in the van. And just like we cut the other holes in our van, we need to get a center punch. We need to make sure that underneath this, inside the van, this area right here is not obstructed. When we drill through it, we're not going to cut through cables or insulation or anything like that. So we're just going to go step by step and talk about this. So first, you need to not only find out where you're going to drill, but just like these right here, my solar gland fittings that I have, you're going to need to figure out what you're going to use to waterproof this connection. A product that I don't recommend, I may change my mind in the future, but for right now, let's see what this thing's called. It's a rooftop solar box. Okay, if you guys see this, although it uses the same fittings here as I use, I don't like the way this has people install this, because you have to cut a massive hole in your roof, then make sure that you seal it, and then you still only have 2 small wires that can come out. Now there's other companies that you have like this one as well. My personal opinion on these is they're too big, and the hole to get the cable to rotate inside just has to be cut out as too big. Again, just my personal opinion, but I don't like this right here. What I like to do is do each one of those gland fittings individually, so that if something happens to one cable, I'm not having to disturb that whole entire box in order to repair, fix, or maintain something. So I like to use that. However, coming to this product, this is called a company called Scanstrut. It's a cable seal. This cable seal has these little grommets. Let's see if I can find, okay. So each kit is going to come with 3 different size grommets. You get 2 to 3 millimeters, 4 to 5, and 6 to 8 millimeters diameter. And this is what you're looking at right there. So see that? So if I shine it to light, do you see how there is a slit? So that slit is what's going to go over your cable. So see how it comes over your cable and closes? So for example, if I have this, say this USB cable is for my roof, I would open up this and it wraps around my cable, and then the fitting actually compresses on that. So see how that works? And that squeezes it and seals the cable. So the benefit of this is, if this cable is what I wanted to put on my roof, see how this is very big, but my hole is smaller? So the diameter of this plug helps me to feed that cable through the roof by cutting out a larger hole and then wrapping this around right here. See? You wrap it and seal. And then what I do is anything that doesn't seal, so you see how there's still like some room right there? All you want to do is take some black RTV sealant, squirt it in there, and then compress this and let it squeeze and ooze out. Wipe it off and then let it dry for about a couple hours, and perfect water seal. They also make ones for very tiny cables. Man. This new camera that I'm using, this is the Sony ZVE-10, and it has this thing called Product Showcase, and it is working fantastic. So basically what happens is if I take this grommet and I show it to the camera, it immediately knows that I want to focus on this, and then when I take it away, it comes back to my face. So it's Pretty cool. Anyway, let's go back to this. So we got the scan strut cable seal, 3 different sizes, the compression fitting, and then this part that actually bolts into the van. All right, let's walk through this. So find out where we want to locate it. So we want to locate it right here. So we take this punch down tool, we punch it down, and we take that foam piece and use it as a template to punch our 4 holes, our center, 3 sides. Go under the van, make sure that we have nothing that we're going to drill through. That's either expensive or dangerous. I put a bunch of Blues painter's tape, and what this is going to do is catch all of my fine metal filings and make sure they don't get in the van. Then I'm going to drill the hole out. Only drill the hole out the size of whatever you're using. So for example, if this cable is what you are using, and this is, say it's 10 millimeters wide, only drill it out 10 millimeters. The instructions on this are going to tell you to do a different one, like 16 millimeters. Don't do that. Just do the minimum amount of hole cut out on your roof. The tool I have here, this is called a deburr tool. It takes the burrs off so that when you put the cable up there, you don't have to sand it and the cable won't actually cut itself. Takes all the sharp edges off. Next, this is the cable for reference. See how I only made the hole slightly bigger than this cable. Next, we're going to do rust preventative. We're taking some Rust-Oleum and we are making sure we paint all of the holes that we just did. Extremely important. Make sure you do this. Let it dry. Then WeBoost gives you this little bottle of Loctite, and you're going to Loctite the top antenna to the extension bar to the bar where this cable has it's a very special fitting that the cable can exit. And then the end is where there's a spring that you're going to attach to it. So for example, that spring right there, you're going to attach to it. And there's the spring right there. So I'm going to talk to Brian and Robin, and what I'm going to ask them is, you may want to remove this antenna at some time. So I've Loctited the top, middle, but I've left top, middle, and bottom, but I've left this very bottom thread not Loctited. It's just hand tightened in there. And I've put it so that if they want to ever take this in for the night, say they stay in like a hotel room or something like that, all they got to do is unscrew this into the cable, unscrew this by hand, and the whole antenna can come off and go inside. If you're in like a kind of questionable area, for example. Here is the first attempt at a bracket, and then I modified it a little bit, and I love using 80/20 because what I needed to do is I needed to have the antenna set in and off of the rail, and by doing a double bracket here, I was able to achieve that. So this is what it kind of looks like. Put lock washers, Loctited that. This is the start to the install on their roof. So you can see over here on the right-hand side, I have this mounted through the Flatline Vanco roof rack. And this 5/16 stainless steel bolt fits very well in the track. I did have to open up this one because of the powder coating, but don't worry about drilling through the roof rack. Remember, it's completely aluminum, so you're not going to have any rust issues. So I did that, and then the next step was just bolting everything in nice and clean. As you can see, this photo shows it at a 45-degree angle, so you got 3 different positions. So this is what you would unhook if you wanted to take this completely off. I did have to reorganize a little bit of the solar cables. So getting back to this, now that I did all that, this is dry. So I took the double-sided tape off of this, and I was able to stick it down. What you want to do is dip your screws. So these are, you need to have, these are, you need like a truss head screw, sheet metal screw that is not self-tapping. And then you want to make the hole smaller than the screw and really get a good bite on this. So dip it in that, and then you're going to put it through the hole, and this, when you screw it in and it sets, it will be a nice weatherproof seal. So you can see how the screws went through the ceiling or the roof of the van, and kind of that RTV is oozed out around it. So that not only is going to seal the bolt, but it actually does a good job at kind of acting as like a Loctite for the bolts so they don't work their way loose. So that's the wire coming through, and I just kind of set it inside so it wouldn't be putting weight on it. This is what it looks like after I screw down from the top. We're feeding the cap on, and right there you can see we've got the grommet. So the grommet is in place. And then next, we're just fitting everything together. And right here, this is the RTV oozing out. And then next, what I did is I took my finger and I smeared it around here to seal this complete area and the slit and the inside of the cable. And then I just let that set up. After it's set up, I kind of cleaned and wiped everything down, and this is the way it looks. So this right here, what's nice is there is a kickstand for the WeBoost. It looks a little silly to me. It's made out of plastic. It doesn't have any way to mount it. It's just kind of like a rubber kickstand that clips on this pole. Conveniently, the solar wires that are coming out of the van pad this end of the WeBoost from vibrating. So it's a nice positive touch when you click it in. And yeah, this is the final install. Looks really good. So you can see the 80/20 over there. Obviously, you know, before delivery, we're gonna clean up their van, wash the roof and all that stuff, get all that dust out. But that's the wire coming from the roof. It's got a nice, easy path, zip tied along here. This is where you're gonna be able to disconnect it. It's okay for this to be exposed to the weather. They do provide a heat shrink sleeve if you are doing a permanent install. I do want this to have the potential to be removed by the customer if they want to. And if they don't, it can take me 5 minutes to heat shrink it, and I can Loctite the antenna so that you can't take it off. So it's really just about what Brian and Robin would like to do with this this install. And that's another view from the side of the 80/20. And like I said, from here to the end of this antenna is 28 inches. It just barely fit behind this rail, rear rail, and just behind the solar panel. So we really had just enough room to make that work. All right, let's see, that is, okay, and this is what it looks like from the ground. So I wanted to make sure it was inset so you couldn't, when it was laying down, you couldn't see it from outside of the van. But if Brian and Robin climb up the ladder, they can conveniently just go over here, pop it up, and get their WeBoost antenna up and running. All right, that is, yeah, so that live stream took a little bit longer than I thought. So, running about an hour here, so let's close this live stream out. I know you guys are anxious to see this. We'll save that for another video. where I'm going to finish this up, only because it's getting late tonight. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this live stream. Remember, check out the DIY conversion course that we are launching October 1st. You will get a discount if you go ahead and pre-order that course from now until October 1st when it comes out, just as a thank you for supporting the channel and purchasing the course early. I'm going to hop on over to the website real quick so that you guys can see the course one more time. Again, it's the Camper Van Conversion Blueprint. It's the name of the course. Right here, the pre-order link. All you gotta do is click on it, enter your information, go ahead and reserve it, and come October 1st, you're gonna have an awesome all-in-one DIY camper van conversion guide course. DIY camper van conversion course. It's gonna help you with the whole entire process. I'm going to be teaching the whole entire thing. We'll have all kinds of different modules. Again, check out the website for all the details that we talked about earlier at the beginning of this live stream. Remember, pre-order, save today, order the course. It launches October 1st, and I'm really excited to get it put together for you guys. Also, the DIY van build cheat sheet. I want you guys to check that out. It's free. Put your name and email address. I think it'll really also help you out with your DIY van conversion. And last but not least, make sure to subscribe to Van Builder HQ. Click that notification bell so you don't miss any time that I'm going live. I go live at random times depending on what I'm building in the shop. And it's always a good time for you guys to ask questions live while I'm on the computer. Ask away. I'll get the best answer I can for you. If we're not live and you're watching this video after we've gone live, put comments in the comments section. That can be questions. What I'm really looking forward to is I want to hear you guys' feedback on course question suggestions. So stuff that you guys would suggest that is in the course that I didn't go over. Put those questions in the comments, and I'd be happy to talk about those in a future live stream. All right, because it's going to get late tonight, or it's getting late right now, we're going to wrap this live stream up. Thanks again so much for watching. Check out those links in the description below, and we'll see you guys on the next live stream.